Chelsea might just be finished for the time being. Now, I've always been under the thought process that Pochettino is going to be able to make everything click. He's going to be able to gel this group of players together, this young team that's been bought over the past few seasons, and be able to find a way to get them to work to his system, like we saw at Tottenham, maybe not at PSG, but a manager with the resources that Chelsea have and the young ability that the squad has. Pochettino is a man who can get the best out of these young players. And as the weeks have gone on, I think it's faded the sort of optimism around the club. A lot of players have not been performing to the standard that you expect of them. The manager already looks defeated. He looks like he doesn't know what's going on. He seems like he is out of his depth at times, and it's far too early to be making the assumptions, definitely. But you look at Chelsea and you see a club that, from the top to bottom at the moment, is poisonous, and the way things are ran does not seem to suit a man like Pochettino, who enjoys harmony in the squad. He wants these young players that he can develop and turn into incredible talents. And at the moment, he can't do that because he doesn't have the system behind him supporting him in the way that he needs, not just buying players willy-nilly left, right and centre because they think, oh, well, we have this man who developed that Tottenham team from a few years back. We can just throw all these players at him and he'll find a way to make them fit. It doesn't work. It's not working at all. And Chelsea at the moment are headed for the same route as Manchester United, where when Ferguson left, you could argue, buy, get this player, he's great, get this player, he's young. And we've seen that it doesn't work. And as I say, they could be on their way to becoming the next giant English superforce that suffers and stagnates and becomes just another club trying to get back to where they should be, which is the top tier of English football. Now, I'm not by any means suggesting that Chelsea are done permanently, but the way they're going, it's a steep slope down. Now, just a few stats. So Chelsea have one win this season against Luton, a team who I've heard people say compare them to Derby County, and rightfully so. At the moment, they've only picked up 1 point all season themselves, and that was the only win, or the only game even where Chelsea looked convincing. Arguably the Liverpool game, the first game of the season, but even then they only got a draw out of it. They've not been able to score, and that's been their biggest issue. In their past 14 home games, they've only scored 11 goals, amongst 2 wins in that time. Now, for Chelsea, who under Jose Mourinho, Stamford Bridge was a fortress, and they went unbeaten for over a year. He turned them into this spectacular juggernaut of a team. And from then they just developed and continued to develop and work. And, you look at Ancelotti coming in and winning them the league, even Di Matteo coming in, winning them the Champions League and the FA Cup. And then from then on, Mourinho coming back, Conte coming in and getting them playing the way they did. There's no plan now. And it feels like money has become the main thing for Chelsea. It's no longer win the trophies, get this team of incredible players together and develop it and bring in talent as and when. Now it's just replace everyone, get this team in. They'll all be brilliant automatically, or at least in a few years they will. And it's clear that Todd Boehly doesn't have an idea of what he wants to do at Chelsea. He's a businessman from an outside world who's come into English football expecting to be able to just buy anyone he wants and make it work. And he's in for tough time, tougher than he's already had, because there's already Chelsea fans who want him gone, and quite frankly, rightfully so. As a Liverpool fan, we give FSG a lot of stick for not being so open to buying players, but we buy what we need and we buy in a sensible way. And I would rather that than a club that will spend £1 billion in a year. And from those players that they've bought, maybe one or two looks like a decent player. Raheem Sterling, maybe. Enzo Fernandez could be an incredible player, but at the moment it's not working particularly well. Mudrick, arguably flop of the season last season. And we've got Caicedo coming in who's not fit, and Lavia's injured. Disassi was not needed, and that's where the club just does not seem to be working. Gone are the days for Chelsea where they need a striker, they get Diego Costa. They need a defender, they get Thiago Silva. Now it's this player's young, get him in the team, spend 70 million. Who cares? We have a loophole around FFP. Buy them, get them in, get it working. It'll happen. It's not the way it's done, and Todd Boehly needs to realise that Chelsea is more than just a cash cow. It's an English footballing institution. It's one of the greatest clubs on the European scene. I'm not a Chelsea fan, but I some of the things that I've seen them do. The season under Conte, where they won 93 points, 30 wins, which was a record at that point until Pep and Klopp came in. The, the team, Mourinho, in his second stint, buying Diego Costa, Cesc Fabregas, getting that team to play the way it did, it was incredible. And now it's scattergun, stagnated. 1 minute we want an experienced manager to come in, Conte, bring him in. Yeah, he does brilliant. He's brilliant. Get rid of him. Okay, so what now? Okay, so we get a young manager and someone who's going to develop everyone. Bring Lampard in. Sure, that'll do. Got rid of him. Okay, so Tuchel. We'll get Thomas Tuchel in. He's a proven winner. Wins in the Champions League, gets them to several cup finals. Brilliant, brilliant. Get rid of him. It just keeps going and going and going, and it doesn't. There's no stability, and there never has been manager wise. But somehow they always made it work, and now the club is poisonous, for lack of a better word, and it's quite clear that the Chelsea fans have fed up with this, and for them, in a sense, I feel sorry for them. And it just shows money has dominated this sport so much. And it's sad to see. All right, it's you think back to if there was a team that spent over 100 million in a transfer window, it was viewed as huge. It was massive. City were doing it. They'd spend over 100 million. Liverpool did it in the summer. We got Fabinho and Keita and Alisson. It's like, oh my god, it's so much money. And then Chelsea come in at 600 million. And from that, they've gone backwards, and it's a financial misstep. It's taken away success from the club. The fans aren't getting any enjoyment out of it. From a financial point, it doesn't make any sense, and it's turned a lot of people away from it, from the product. So, it's ruining the club, and my fear for them would be that they go backwards, and it takes them so long to get back to where they should be. With this endless revolving door of managers, this endless revolving door of players, an owner who doesn't know what he's doing, And they're going to find themselves in a situation similar to Manchester United with the Glazers in charge, managers who don't know what to do, how they should play, players who don't want to be there, players who shouldn't be there, players who have more power than arguably the manager at times. And that's, I still think it will somehow click for Poch, or at least I thought it would. Now, I don't know. I just think Chelsea are spiraling down and fast. So, you know, and some of the players they brought in this summer just gone. Cole Palmer, did they need him? Disassi, did they need him? Ugachukwu, maybe you'll sell for money in the future. But if that's what you're signing players for, is sell on value, then you need to realise that fans don't care about that. They want to see results. And I'm sure fans would rather you spend a decent amount of money on a great player now than an investment to make money. Because you owe it to the fans to give them results and to win silverware and to give them something to believe in. If he's a businessman who wants to do business and earn money, go on the stock market. Don't buy a club, strip it of everything, of all its morals and integrity, and treat it like some sort of store where you can buy for cheap and sell for profit. It doesn't work, and it's not what fans want to see.